Welcome to another edition of Tim's Vinyl Confessions. I'm Tim Durling. Thank you for tuning in for this one. This is a fun episode for me because it's one of my favorite bands, and it's a band that I am going to be seeing in concert this summer on July 30th at the Moncton Coliseum. Journey. I've been a fan of Journey since I was 10, 11, and never got to see them live, so I'm looking forward to that. And so I've already done a Journey vinyl edition for Tim's Vinyl Confessions. You can check that out if you haven't seen it, because it's one of the reasons I collect vinyl, because their artwork was so cool. But I thought I'd go over my cassettes and a couple of newer things that I picked up along the way. I do want to mention, if you haven't seen the Moncton Road Trip TVC, I picked up their most recent studio album, Eclipse, on vinyl. So I've already shown you that on another video. Otherwise, I would do it here. So mainly this is going to be about my Journey cassettes on Tim's Vinyl Confessions. I had most of them at one point. Rebought this one just to have it. This is the first Journey album. It looks shiny. It's because this version is not opened. I had originally, when I was buying these, that's very faded along the side, I realized. I had a hard time locating these, and I was so pleasantly surprised when I started to see these turn up in stores. The first three albums did not have Steve Perry on them. They're mostly instrumental, and they're so good. Real musicians, music. This is the second one, Look Into the Future. The version that I used to have of this cassette had 2 J cards inside of it. Every once in a while, you'd get that. I guess the assembly line would just spit 2 of them out really quickly, which is kind of a neat thing. Just a close to look at the J card here. Typical CBS. These are both Canadian or American issues. Now, some of the American issues would have featuring, and they'd list some, but not all of the song titles. And that's what the cassette looks like. Look Into the Future. Third Journey album, Next, 77. This one, a little bit different printing. It's very small, if you can read that or not. Again, this had some of the song titles listed on the front cover, but not all of them. And that's what the actual cassette looks like for Next. Next up, Infinity. This one, you'll notice, has a barcode here, not song titles. I don't know which one is newer or older. That's something I don't know much about, is because cassettes were reissued so much. They were probably issued as much as the records were, but since cassettes could look so drastically different. Another odd thing I found about US CBS cassettes is that they were perforated here. Very easy to get torn. This tape's pretty beat up. That's what it looked like here. Small print. One side of this program is of longer duration than the other to preserve the album continuity. In other words, if side 2 was longer than side 1, it didn't matter if they had more room on the cassette. They kind of preserved it the way it was. This next one's interesting. I didn't originally have this. I had a US version, but this is Evolution. And if this looks different, because this is a UK version, and I don't know how recent it is, but it's recent enough that it doesn't say CBS Records, it says Sony Music Entertainment on it. But it still keeps the red and white sort of theme that the CBS cassettes had, because of course it's a foreign version, and has a sticker on it. One of the handful of albums that have never been released on CD is this one, In the Beginning, which is a compilation of the first 3 Journey albums. This is a rare Canadian cassette of In the Beginning. You don't see it a lot. Typical beige and black, well, yellowish beige, I guess you'd call it. This is what CBS cassettes looked like in Canada until sometime in 1983, and then the beige becomes white, and they go to the chromium dioxide look, which you'll see some examples of that coming up. Yeah, that cassette's very, very faded. I don't know if that was supposed to be white all along or if it was supposed to be beige, but Next up, another Canadian issue, another old one, Departure, from 1980. No credits inside any of these. This one's very yellow. Almost a medicine type of color. Ugh. The next Journey cassette I'm going to show you is one that confused me for many, many years because I thought I had all of their albums until I came across this. Dream After Dream. Perplexed, to say the least, I was when I saw this in the record store. Because looking for Journey albums, most of their titles had one title, or one word in the title. And this was just, what is this? And, you know, I looked at the song titles and I was like, what? Is this the band that I know is Journey? It's on CBS. Looks like it. Of course, you know, not a thing inside of it for credits other than it was from 1980. And this is what the cassette itself looked like. So, don't know. More on that one later. 1981. This is Captured. This is the live album. This is an American CBS version. Not much in it for credits, just lots of pictures, which older cassettes, you know, if they had anything at all in them, you know, you should feel thankful that they sprung for that. So, of course, the most successful Journey album besides their original greatest hits was Escape. So here, this is a Canadian J card from '81 with the beige and black, but mixed with a newer issue, also from Canada. So you've got a classic looking J card and a cassette that, if I was actually going to play it, probably actually plays. I mentioned earlier that the beige lasted until sometime in 1983, and then it was replaced. And then the Canadian CBS cassette started to look like this. This is Frontiers. Now, I've seen Frontiers from earlier that didn't have the white, and it didn't have the chromium dioxide down the side. It was just beige colored, but everything else looked the same. This is probably my favorite Journey album. Always has been. And at this point, the Canadian CBS cassettes had the etching into it. If you watched my Cheap Trick CD episode, you'll see that also the early CD cases had the CBS logo and address etched into the side as well. Nothing in it for credits. This is what the cassette itself looks like for Frontiers. Next is Raised on Radio with an ugly purple color, which I don't know why. It doesn't, they should have matched the rest of the album, but anyway. To me, it underscores the sort of more pop feel they had with this album. Well, I do like a lot of the songs on it, though. Obviously, this is a Canadian issue. It's the first one in Canada to have really much in it for credits, and it actually has lyrics as well. Next up is a curiosity of mine. One of the reasons I've held on to cassettes. I don't even know how to describe this. I stumbled upon this sometime in 1990. It's Sam the Record Man. Take a good look at this. 4-play cassette. Has 4 songs on it. Journey. Side of it, no title. And the back. Says this was released in 1987. Obviously, this is a Canadian cassette. And I'll be darned if I know what the story is with these. There's only one other bit of information I have on these cassettes. It's got Lovin' Touchin' Squeezin', The Party's Over, Separate Ways, and Faithfully. Those are the songs on it, with a Raised on Radio era photo of the band on the cover. CBS in Canada obviously did a series of these cassettes, and I've only ever seen one other artist, and it was the country singer Johnny Horton. But there may be more. I don't know. It's the only one I've ever seen. I doubt it's worth anything, but it's... hey, it's got Journey songs on it. Of course, I had to buy it. This is a later issue of Journey's Greatest Hits, which originally came out in 1988. This version came out in 1996. It was a reissue. And this is a pretty beat-up copy. Journey's Greatest Hits is their biggest selling album. It's a diamond album. So this is a later issue. Pictures inside of it, and albums that they came from, and all of the lyrics. Like I say, it's pretty beat up. Journey's comeback album in 1996, Trial by Fire. This is a Canadian version, which by this time the Canadian and American versions did not look all that different. That's what the album itself looked like. And inside of this, of course, a picture of the group, a lineup which is not to last long at this point. All the lyrics, as usual, great artwork. Always love Journey's artwork, it's very classy looking. And one more cassette to show you. 2001, Arrival. This is an American version. That's what the cassette looks like. And some little bit of credits there. No lyrics, just credits and the write-up that's inside of the CD. So that's my Journey cassette collection. I do have a couple other things to show you. I'm still waiting on my tickets to arrive in the mail. I've already ordered them. When they do, I'll post them on my Facebook page. So I mentioned Dream After Dream being an album that I really didn't know what it was about at the time. I bought it in 1990. It wasn't until a couple years after that that the box set Time 3 came out that I realized that Dream After Dream was actually a soundtrack to a movie, I think a Japanese movie. And I just recently got it on CD. So this is a Japanese version of Dream After Dream on CD. I would recommend this album to Journey fans if you like the first three. If you like the first three albums pre-Steve Perry, this album is basically a Journey album that they would have done like the first three albums, but with Steve Perry. It's mostly instrumental. There's only 3 songs on here with vocals. And I used to think that, just quickly, I'm not even sure what, I don't know what this says, but this is the lyrics to the songs, mostly Japanese. This also has other titles available. This is obviously a recent issue because it has Arrival on here. It also has the Greatest Hits DVD, but it's showing what all is available from Journey. Because for many years this was only the first 3 years this was out, it was only available in Japan or through the Journey Force fan club. Now I always thought this was an animated movie, but I guess not, because here are some pictures. And not even the record has these. This picture of the band and some credits. That picture of the band is inside of the record. So Dream After Dream, that's a really hard thing to get. In fact, some Journey discographies don't even list it. So it's worth checking out. If you can get it relatively cheap too, sometimes it can be pricey. And one other thing, it's been out for a few years, I just got around to buying it. This is Greatest Hits 2. It's a compilation that Sony and Steve Perry threw together, and it's basically got the other hit songs of Journey that weren't on the first one. Of course, the first one's a superior one, but that makes a nice companion. So I'm excited to see them in concert, and I will be giving a concert review once that hits. Thanks for watching Tim's Vinyl Confessions. Check out some of the other episodes if you haven't seen them. Have a great day.